Hi guys, Matt Thornycroft here from Lead Without Position. And today I want to talk to you about how to get motivated when you just don't feel like it. When you don't have the motivation to do something, it can feel like you're going into a rut. And a rut is defined as a habit or pattern of behavior that has become dull and unproductive, but is hard to change. And this feeling can come out of nowhere. One day you are super productive and happy, and the next day you just don't want to do anything. But it doesn't have to be this way. So today I want to talk to you about how we can stop this feeling and get you back into being positive and productive. So the first thing to know about losing motivation is that if you don't address it early, it can become an extended rut. And this is where you fall into the pattern of every day feeling dull, boring, and completely unfulfilling. And I'm probably going to do another video on extended ruts because they are so damaging to our lives, and I'd really like to help you address them. But let's stick with temporary ones today. So my first point in addressing temporary ruts is about the habit loop. The habit loop is where your habits that you have created help create the next set of habits. If you haven't watched my video on creating positive habits, I'll put that in the description below. But effectively, what you do is you use one habit to trigger your next habit, which in turn triggers the next one and eventually gets you to what you want to achieve. For example, when you wake up, you don't simply get to work and start working. There are things that you do along the way that change your mindset and change your process in order to get you there. For example, the most common habit trigger is having a shower. It is generally what most people do when they wake up and causes your day to start. And you should be able to tell the difference from days which you just go straight to the sofa compared to days which you have a shower and feel a lot more alive and alert and ready to do stuff. You're generally more proactive and willing to get stuff done. And this is because you have programmed your day to say shower, breakfast, clothes, work, whichever order that you want to do it in. But all this cycle gets you into that productive mindset. So first, consider what you have done with your day when you're having a temporary rut. Have you actually started your typical habit loop that you would do for work? Did you get up and have a shower and exercise and do your usual routine? Or did you get up, put some joggers on and go to the sofa and think, I'll probably do some work today? Another way to see this is by looking at your actions and your mindset when you've completed a habit that you don't normally do. For example, if you strike up the motivation to go for a run, you'll find that when you come back, you feel a little bit lost of what to do. You'll probably find that you stand around in your kitchen thinking about what to do next. And this is because it's not part of your habit loop. It is an isolated activity and your brain is scrambling to find what you should do next. And this is what you need to hack. It's about creating a habit and thinking about what you want to introduce next and putting it on top. And when you do this 4 or 5 times, you'll find that the simple action of having a shower will suddenly get you feeling much more positive, energetic, and productive because you're simply following your usual habit cycle. But of course, this doesn't simply work by doing any habit. They need to be things that you'll find beneficial. For example, if you are not sleeping properly and you get up and have a high sugar breakfast, then even though you'll have a usual routine of getting up and going to work, you'll find that you just don't have the energy when it gets to 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning. You've only got a few hours of energy, so even though you might have the best habit loop ever, your other health components will have an impact. If you are sitting there surrounded by mess and feeling unhygienic, it's going to impact your productivity even if you've done exercise and focused on some gratitude and positivity. I'm sure many of you can appreciate the feeling of sitting at a laptop, knowing that you need to do work, but seeing all the dishes on the side and thinking, I'd rather do that even though it's a boring job. So what you need to do is create your own habit loop. And you've probably already got one from doing your normal routine. But hopefully now you can see what you are doing and try to alter the behavior. So if you know, for instance, that you wake up and check your phone and that wastes half an hour of your morning, you could probably look at removing that from your daily routine. So what you can do is replace that behavior, but still know that you need the next action in your habit cycle to keep the loop going. For example, if you waste half an hour having breakfast and checking your phone, why don't you have breakfast and write a positivity journal? It's using the same amount of time, it's costing you literally nothing, and is going to benefit your mindset. And lastly, with the habit loop, is don't think about the end result, think about the process. And that is, don't think about, I need to get all this work done. Think about the steps in your habit loop that will get you to that result. This is similar to completing a massive workload. Always start with the smallest thing. So know your habit loop, get yourself to the shower or get dressed. Even putting on work clothes instead of joggers will trigger you to feel more productive, more in work mode, and therefore lead you to getting things done. And then when you've got that down and you know what you need to do, you can alter your habits to include positivity and excitement. So when you start your routine, you'll feel yourself getting more energetic and ready to be productive. And my second point to get you motivated when you just don't feel like it is remembering the 2-day rule. And this is simply that it is okay to miss one day, but it's not okay to miss the second because that's the start of a habit. And in this case, the habit of not doing what you want to do. For example, you might already have a habit of going to the gym, but you miss a day because of illness. That is completely okay. That is not going to derail your progress or make you fall out of the routine. But when you miss the second day, this is where you start to get thoughts such as, I need to make up for the time that I missed, or I'm not going to progress as much, and now you start falling out of the habit because of the fears that kick in and the increasing workload that is to do with your habit. You might say to yourself, well, I missed that chest day, so now I need to do chest day and legs, and that's more time that I don't have, so now, I might as well not do it at all. But similarly, if you had a health habit and were creating a routine of healthy eating, and one day you have an extra cheat meal which you shouldn't have done, you wouldn't go to the next meal and think, I need to eat twice as healthy and twice as much to compensate for that cheat meal. The result is not the problem, it's the actions that you have taken and the guilt that you feel. And guilt is not a healthy emotion. There will be times that you miss a large amount of your habits due to large extended illness or any other condition, but feeling the guilt of not doing your habits will simply not help you. All it will do is force you away from completing your habits and contribute to the stress and overwhelm as you tell yourself you need to compensate. So always try to apply the 2-day rule to avoid that stress and overwhelm and guilt. And if you have to take more time off than you originally intended, don't beat yourself up about it. That illness or other situation was not in your control. The thing that you can control is getting back onto your habit loop. So focus on what you can actually do something about, get yourself back onto that habit loop, and start being productive and positive. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know in the comments below and hit that like and subscribe.